All right, let's start with number 25. So these are the proofs. They're on page 210. All right, so let's start off with, oops, let's change this thing to that. Okay, now we're good. All right, so let's start with 25. Now, when you do these proofs, everything that I'm writing in front of you right now, you should be writing on your own paper. You understand? Okay, so I'm not just doing it just as a teacher would. This is what you should be doing. Okay, so everything that I write here, you should be writing down when you do these proofs. All right, so let's write the given. So the given says, we'll draw a picture in a second, but let's just write the given and what you want to prove. So it says angle 1 is equal to angle 3, and then it says that AC is parallel to BD, and that's what's given. Now here's what you want to prove. Now none of this makes sense without the picture, but we'll draw the picture here in a second. We want to prove that AB is parallel to CD. Now, just with that said, without even looking at the picture or anything, we have a few ways to prove that two lines are parallel to each other. Remember, if we could show some things? If we could show what? What was the postulate? If we could show that, if you have two lines and a transversal, okay, cut by a transversal, if you can show that, what two angles? Give me some words. Evan, you know, right? What was that postulate? If you could show that something is equal to something, what do we call those two angles? Corresponding. Good. Corresponding. If you can show that the corresponding angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. Agreed? What's another thing to look for? If you can show alternate interior angles equal to each other, then the lines are parallel. Give me another one. If you can show alternate exterior angles equal to each other, then the lines are parallel. You with me? So that's the kind of stuff that you should be looking for. I mean, without even looking at the picture, excuse me, without even looking at the picture, I'm looking at what I'm trying to prove. I'm trying to prove that two lines are parallel to each other. So what am I looking for? I'm looking to see if I can show corresponding angles congruent. Hello, Hoppy. So I can show that if I can show that two congruent or corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. Look for alternate interior angles. Look for alternate exterior angles. Are you with me on this? So that's what you should be looking for. So that just gives you a little heads up. All right, let's try to draw the picture here. So one line's like this. One line is like that. Let me copy and paste this so it's exactly the same. So one line looks something like that. And then you had one that went like that. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? All right, let's label this. This is A, B right here. This is D, and this is C. And they number some of the angles, which is nice. That's 1 and 2, and this is 3. All right. Now we're ready to go, aren't we? First thing I do on these things is mark up my picture. Okay, see what's given, and then mark up the picture. Yes, sir.
Why do you do different colors?
Why do I? Just to
Because we
make
can't
things
really
stand
see the
out.
difference anyway.
You can't?
No.
Oh well, I can. All right, this is red. You can see the difference between the red, can't you?
No.
You can't on the
They all
screen.
look black.
Oh, is that right? Oh, whatever. If you look it on the computer, if anybody would ever go to the computer and actually look at it, if you have it on your screen in front of you, you'll see the difference between the colors. Okay? I haven't written yet.
Why don't we
I haven't
turn
written
lights
in
on?
red yet. Because you all fall asleep, and I don't want you to fall asleep. That's all right. You can deal with it. You can still see it, though, if I do different colors, right? You can still see the writing? Yeah. Okay. All
I'm
right.
just saying,
If you
why
can't,
would you do it if we can't see it?
I don't know. I'm not looking at the screen. I'm looking at the computer. So that's all right. Don't worry about it. Why do you worry about something like that when we're trying to do a proof? Here we go. Let's draw the thing. Angle 1 is equal to angle 3. So what am I going to do? I'm going to mark it. So that's angle 1. And that's it. Does that look red to you? Say. See? Okay. There you go. Well, maybe you should get your eyes checked. Okay, here we go. So 1 is equal to 3. All right. Conversation's over on that, okay? Let's concentrate on this. All right? I'm telling you, you're going to have to concentrate on these things. This is not something you can just blow through and just get it. All right? So let's pay attention and listen to this. My other class always accuses me of saying everything's easy all the time. Did you ever hear me say that? I was like, oh yeah, this is easy. This is easy. This. They're like, Mr. Hamrick, everything we do, you say is easy. Is there anything that's hard at all? All right. Well, proofs. I wouldn't say it's hard, but proofs are something that you're not just going to get right away. All right. So that means you're going to have to pay attention. You're going to have to listen, and really going to have to concentrate. All right. Now I didn't say it was hard though, did I? but it's something you have to concentrate on. So let's go. We mark 1 and 3 equal to each other. It also says that AC is parallel to BD. Well, here's AC, so let's mark that. So we mark that with an arrow, and BD, we mark that with an arrow. All right, that's the first thing that I do. Does that make sense? All right. Now, what are we trying to prove? We're trying to prove that AB, this line right here, and CD, this line right here, are parallel to each other. Again, what are we going to look for? We're going to look to find if we can. Here's 2 lines. Now, you actually have a couple transversals here, don't you? You've got this transversal, and you have this transversal. Well, let's think about this. If I want to show that these 2 lines are parallel to each other, and I've cut by a transversal, what are some things, what are some options that I have? We've already discussed these already just a few minutes ago. Rachel, you see it. What do you think? What are we looking for? We're looking to see, if I'm going to prove that these 2 lines are parallel, I'm looking to see some angles, right? I'm looking to see if, what? Rebecca, say it. Rachel, tell us. Yeah, they're looking for corresponding angles, okay? Look to see if you have any corresponding angles that might be equal to each other, all right? Okay, 2 and 3, but is that going to show that this side, or this line right here and this line right here are parallel to each other, knowing that 2 and 3? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Right? Let's think about it. I want to prove that this line and this line are parallel, correct? So I'm looking to see if either, I've got several different options, basically 3 options, okay? I want to see if my corresponding angles are equal. I want to see if my alternate interior angles are equal. Jaden, head up please. There's no way you're going to catch on to this like that, okay? Are you kidding me? This is the one time in this whole class that you absolutely have to sit and pay attention and watch me. There's no way you can just get through this, all right? We want to show, let's start this again. We want to show that either the corresponding angles are equal. Talk to me now. The what? The alternate interior angles are equal and the alternate exterior angles are equal. Okay, we don't have to show all 3. Those are options for me, okay? I want to see some of those options. Now look, here's 2 parallel lines. This is a transversal. Now remember, if I consider this to be a transversal, what would I have to show? Well, if I could show this angle right here equal to this angle, what are these 2 to each other? Alternate interior angles. So if this angle is equal to this angle, what would be true about this line and this line right here? They got to be parallel. But I don't know this angle, do I? All right. So what angles do they give us? They give us this one and this one. Okay. If I could show, I'm saying if. I don't know yet if I could or not, but let's just say, if I could show that angle 1 is equal to angle 2, what are they? They're alternate interior angles, aren't they? What are my 2 lines? This is one line, this is the other one. This is AC is my transversal, isn't it? If I can show that 1 equals 2, guess what then I could say about AB and CD? That they're parallel to each other. That's right. So that's what my goal is. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show that angle 1 is equal to angle 2. Can I just say right now that they're equal to each other? No. Okay, I haven't marked it. It's not given. I got to figure out some way to show that angle 1 is equal to angle 2. Nico? Okay, we will. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. All right? But I'm just trying to show you our goal. I'm trying to show you what we're trying to accomplish. And then we can worry about how we get to that goal. Does that make sense? All right? Does that help at all, what I just said? So if I could show that angle 1 and 2 are equal to each other, look, this is a transversal, this is a line, this is a line. If those 2 are equal to each other, they're alternate interior angles. If they're equal, then guess what? This line must be parallel to this line. Does it make sense? Watch, let's just draw it without all the junk around it. See, if that was 1 and that was 2, if I could show that 1 and 2 are equal, guess what's true about these 2 lines? They got to be parallel. Does that make sense? Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. All right, and Nico's on to it. He said, let's use transitive property, but let's write some things down, or let's think about it first. Let's make my little 2 columns right here. Let's make it nice and neat. All right, and here's my statements and reasons. Let's write it in. Statements and reasons. All right, so let's see. What do we start with? We started with 1's equal to 3, didn't we? All right, Nico, what would the next step be? What else could I say about 3? Is there anything else I could say about 3? Remember, we know that this line and this line are parallel to each other. Demir? Okay, they are. Right. 3 is corresponding to 2, isn't it? Do you see that? And guess what? we know that this line and this line are parallel. So look, I've got two parallel lines. I've got a transversal. Everybody see that? 3 and 2 are corresponding. So guess what is true about 3 and 2? They got to be equal to each other. Do you see it? I've got parallel lines. Look, if I need to redraw it, I've got parallel lines cut by a transversal. Okay? Now they're parallel. I'm given that those two are parallel, aren't I? It's in the given. And this is angle 3. This is angle 2. If these lines are parallel, guess what must be true about 3 and 2? They got to be equal to each other because they're corresponding angles. So if I have parallel lines, the corresponding angles are equal to each other. So guess what I can mark now? I can mark something else on my picture. So 3 and 2 must be equal. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put a little arc right there to show that they're equal to each other. Now check it out. Remember what my goal was? My goal was to show that 1 and 2 are equal to each other. And now I have it, don't I? So watch. 1's equal to 3 because it's given. 3's equal to 2. Why? Because of corresponding angles. Because if you have parallel lines, the corresponding angles are equal. So 1's equal to 3. 3's equal to 2. Guess what?
1's equal to 2.
Right. 1's equal to 2. Do you get it? Remember we talked about this yesterday? Did we talk about that yesterday? Yeah, remember A equals B, B equals C, then what?
C.
A equals C. Go in order. If A equals B and B equals C, then what? A equals C. All right? So watch. If 1 equals 3 and 3 equals 2, then guess what? 1 equals 2. All right? If 1's equal to 2, guess what must be true about these two lines? They're parallel. Guess what we just did? We just proved it, didn't we? Okay? Now we just have to write it down. Notice I didn't write anything down in the statements and reasons yet, did I? I went through the whole thing in my head. I went through the whole thing, thought it out, and now I at least know what I'm going to do. Okay? I don't think I said this in this class. In the other class, I was like, if you go on a trip, well, back in the old days before they had GPS, okay, you had a map. You ever see an actual map on paper? Okay, there's going to be a day where I'm going to ask these kids, and they're going to like, map? What are you talking about? I got a GPS. I just punch it in, and that's what it's coming to now. But if I was going on a trip and I've never been there before, am I just going to hop in the car and just start driving and just is that what I'm going to do? No, I'm not. If I've never been there, you're being silly now. Okay, answer me seriously. Okay, you're just making jokes now. If I want to go somewhere, listen. If I want to go somewhere and I've never been there. All right, and you know, somebody says, "Hey, come to my house. Where do you live?" I live in Corning, New York. I just went there a couple weeks ago, so that's what I'm using. I'd never been to Corning, New York before, so what did I do? I got a map out. I actually did it on the computer, but I got a map out and I looked where I was going. I wanted to know before I actually hopped in the car, even before I put it in the GPS. I got on my computer, I looked at it on Google Maps, I looked at it on Google Earth, and I knew exactly where I was going before I hopped in the car and went. Okay? It's the same idea as this. I need to know where I'm going before I start writing down and get in the car. Okay? Start writing these things down. That's getting in the car without knowing where you're going. You follow me? So don't just start writing right away. Mark the picture and then figure out what's going on. Okay, I got to write this quick. I want to get done in 15 minutes. So let's do this. What's the first thing? 1's equal to 3. Let's write that down. And let's not do this in red. Let's do it in black. Make it a little easier to see. So angle 1 is equal to angle 3. Now give me a reason for that. It's given, right. Now somebody asked the other day, or yesterday, either this class or the other class, I don't remember, but they said, do you always put the given up front in the beginning of this? Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Just depends on what's going on. So watch, 1's equal to 3. Now what do I want to do? I want to say 3's equal to 2, but before I say 3's equal to 2, what do I have to establish? I have to establish that these two lines are what? Are parallel to each other. So let's write that in there. So in this case, yeah, I do write all the given at the beginning. All right? And that's all given. I can just put those, well, if you want, you can put given right here. Okay? We got less than a minute, I better hurry. So those two. Now, if these two lines are parallel, what's true about 3 and 2? Well, they're equal to each other because they are corresponding angles. Okay, so corresponding angles are equal to each other. I have to establish that the lines are parallel first, then I can say 3 is equal to 2. Now watch. 1's equal to 3, 3's equal to 2. Guess what? 1 is equal to 2. Give me a reason. Transitive. Okay, and I'm just shorthanding it because I'm running out of time. If 1's equal to 2, then guess what? AB is parallel to what? CD, and give me the reason. What are these two? That's right. If the alternate interior angles, so what we just write alternate interior angles are congruent. And I just finished. Wow.